Have you ever felt a subtle shift in a relationship, a quiet withdrawal, or an unexplained coolness from someone you thought you knew? Perhaps you've walked into a room and felt a sudden, almost imperceptible tension, a feeling that someone just doesn't quite welcome your presence anymore. But you can't put your finger on why. It's a painful reality to consider, isn't it, to wonder if someone, quietly, secretly, harbors negative feelings towards you as you navigate this beautiful, wisdom-filled chapter of life. You might feel a sting of confusion, or even a sense of betrayal, trying to understand what you might have done to cause such a change. But what if I told you that this secret dislike, this hidden resentment, often has very little to do with you at all? What if it's an unconscious reflection of something within them? A mirror they're holding up to their own unacknowledged fears or insecurities. This is where the profound insights of Carl Jung, the renowned Swiss psychiatrist, become incredibly powerful, helping us peel back the layers of these perplexing human interactions. In this video, we're going to explore 7 subtle signs that someone might secretly harbor ill will towards you as you get older, and how Jung's understanding of the human psyche gives us a unique, empowering lens through which to view these difficult situations. Understanding these signs isn't about fostering paranoia. It's about gaining clarity, protecting your peace, and knowing how to respond with wisdom. So, watch to the end, because there's something truly surprising about how to navigate these challenges that will genuinely empower you. Let's begin with the first sign, which often manifests as a sudden chill or a palpable avoidance. Imagine this: someone who used to be warm, engaging, and always ready with a smile or a chat, now seems to deliberately look away when you approach. Their conversations become brief, almost clipped, and they seem to be in a perpetual hurry to end your interaction. You might notice them subtly shifting their body language to create distance, perhaps turning their back slightly, or avoiding making eye contact. It's not an overt rejection, nothing you can easily point to, but it's a distinct cooling, a subtle pulling away that leaves you feeling a bit bewildered and perhaps even hurt. This isn't just about someone being busy or having an off day. It's a consistent pattern of subtle evasion. From a Jungian perspective, this behavior can be a powerful indication of what's happening within them. As we age, we often become living symbols of time's passage. We embody wisdom, experience, and yes, the inevitable march towards mortality. For someone who is deeply uncomfortable with their own aging, their own vulnerabilities, or their own mortality, your very presence might unconsciously trigger those unresolved fears. You become a living reminder of what they might be trying to avoid or deny within themselves. They are not actually hating you as an individual. They are projecting their own shadow, their unacknowledged fears about aging, loss, and the future onto you. It's a defense mechanism, a way for their unconscious mind to push away what it finds too uncomfortable to face. They don't want to engage with you because, in a deeply symbolic way, you represent something they are trying to escape from within themselves. Recognizing this isn't about blaming them. It's about understanding that their reaction is a reflection of their inner world, not your worth. It frees you from internalizing their discomfort as a personal failing. Now, moving on to the second sign, which can be equally frustrating: the patronizing tone or the constant dismissal of your experiences and opinions. Have you ever been in a conversation where you offer a piece of advice based on decades of life experience, only for it to be met with a condescending, "Oh, that's sweet," or an immediate shift to another topic as if your contribution was irrelevant? Or perhaps they speak to you in a voice reserved for small children, using overly simplistic language or explaining things you already clearly understand, assuming you're incapable. It's a subtle but persistent attempt to infantilize you, to diminish your intellect and your capacity. Simply because of your age, they might frequently interrupt you, talk over you, or subtly belittle your accomplishments, almost as if they need to prove their superiority by making you feel less than. This isn't just rudeness. It's a pattern of behavior designed to assert their dominance and undermine your confidence. From Jung's perspective, this behavior often stems from their own deep-seated insecurities. When someone feels inadequate or threatened by another person's wisdom, experience, or even just their peaceful presence. They might unconsciously attempt to cut them down to size. They might project their own feelings of insignificance or their fear of being overshadowed onto you. In their unconscious mind, perhaps they view your accumulated life experience as a challenge to their own perceived knowledge or competence, even if they aren't consciously aware of this competition. They might project their own shadow of inadequacy or jealousy onto you, attempting to elevate themselves by diminishing you. It's a psychological tactic to regain a sense of control or superiority. Instead of genuinely engaging with your perspective, they dismiss it, not because it's wrong, but because it challenges their own fragile sense of self. Understanding this sign helps you see that their need to patronize isn't a reflection of your capabilities, but rather a window into their own struggles with self-worth. You are not responsible for validating their ego. Your wisdom stands on its own, regardless of whether they choose to acknowledge it. Recognizing these patterns helps us maintain our inner balance. Knowing that these behaviors are more about the other person's internal landscape than anything we have done, it allows us to step back and observe, rather than absorbing their negative projections, continuing our journey through these subtle indicators. The third sign that someone might secretly harbor negative feelings towards you is their consistent exclusion of you from social circles or conversations where you once belonged. This isn't about being forgotten occasionally. It's a recurring pattern where you find yourself consistently overlooked for gatherings, or when you are present. Conversations subtly shift or go quiet when you approach, almost as if you've interrupted something private. You might notice whispers or inside jokes that you're clearly not a part of, or plans being made in front of you without an invitation extended your way. It's a quiet, often nonverbal, form of ostracism that leaves you feeling isolated and irrelevant. This isn't about being an outsider by choice. It's about being subtly pushed to the periphery from a Jungian lens. This behavior can tap into deeply ingrained societal unconscious biases about aging. In many cultures, there's an unconscious devaluation of older individuals, a collective shadow that associates age with decline, irrelevance, or even a lack of vitality. People might unconsciously fear that associating too closely with an older person will somehow age them too, or mark them as less relevant or hip. They might project their own anxieties about becoming obsolete onto you. And then, in an attempt to distance themselves from these uncomfortable feelings, they distance themselves from you. This exclusion isn't necessarily a conscious act of malice. It's often an unconscious desire to align with what they perceive as youth, dynamism, and relevance, by pushing away what reminds them of their own future vulnerabilities. They are projecting their own discomfort with the natural progression of life onto you, creating a social barrier. Understanding this sign helps you realize that their exclusion is often a reflection of their own societal conditioning and their personal unexamined fears, not a judgment of your social value or desirability. Your worth and your ability to connect with others are not diminished by their unconscious biases. The fourth sign is often cloaked in politeness, making it particularly insidious: the backhanded compliment or the subtle dig. These are comments that sound like compliments on the surface, but carry an underlying jab or a critical implication. Think along the lines of, "You look great for your age," or "It's so nice you're still trying to keep up with new technology," implying that it's surprising you're capable. They might comment on your energy levels with a tone that suggests surprise rather than genuine admiration. Wow, you have so much energy for someone your age. Or perhaps they'll bring up a past mistake or a moment of vulnerability under the guise of just reminiscing. But the true intent is to subtly undermine or embarrass you. These remarks are designed to deliver a small sting, to chip away at your confidence, while maintaining a veneer of innocence or even kindness. It's passive aggression at its finest. Carl Jung's work on the shadow is incredibly relevant here. The shadow represents the unacknowledged aspects of ourselves, often negative traits like jealousy, insecurity, or unresolved resentment. When someone gives a backhanded compliment, they are often projecting their own shadow onto you. They might unconsciously envy your peace, your wisdom, your resilience, or even your freedom. But instead of acknowledging these feelings within themselves, they express them in a disguised, critical way. They might feel a hidden resentment that you are still vibrant or capable, especially if they are struggling with their own life path. Their backhanded compliments are a subtle attempt to lessen your perceived light, making themselves feel brighter by comparison. It's a way for the Thangkwandom, Dozan di Danond. Wing on gong con chanon dand kudisams. We demand them on sanonla. We want resentment to seep out without them having to directly confront it, or even admit it to themselves. Recognizing these subtle digs for what they are, projections of their own insecurities, allows you to deflect them and not internalize their negativity. Soon, you don't need to defend yourself. Simply understanding the source of their remark empowers you to let it slide off you. And the fifth sign follows a similar vein, the consistent dismissal or trivialization of your wisdom. Experiences or accomplishments. You share a valuable insight gleaned from a lifetime of learning, and they might shrug, change the subject, or say something like, "Oh, everyone knows that," or "That's old news." When you talk about past achievements or career successes, they might respond with a blank stare, a dismissive wave of the hand, or even try to one-up you with a seemingly grander, though often fabricated, tale of their own. Your contributions to a discussion are frequently interrupted, ignored, or attributed to someone else. It's a systematic effort to invalidate your history and your current relevance, making you feel as though your past means nothing and your present contributions are worthless. This isn't just about someone having a different opinion. It's a deliberate pattern of denying the value of your accumulated knowledge and lived experience. From a Jungian perspective, this type of behavior can be deeply rooted in their own struggles with their ego and their sense of significance. For many, especially in a youth-obsessed culture, the wisdom that comes with age can be perceived as a threat. They might unconsciously fear that your extensive experience highlights their own lack of it, or that your accomplishments make their own seem less impressive. They project their own fears of inadequacy or irrelevance onto you, attempting to devalue your wisdom as a way to elevate their own perceived status. By dismissing your past, they are trying to strip you of your perceived power and authority, which they might unconsciously feel threatened by. This is often a manifestation of their own shadow aspect of envy or a desperate need for recognition. They are trying to dim your light to make their own appear brighter. Knowing this allows you to hold firm in the knowledge of your own value and history. Your wisdom is not dependent on their validation, and their inability to see it is a reflection of their own internal struggles, not a measure of your worth. You possess a wealth of knowledge and a tapestry of experiences that are invaluable, regardless of whether others choose to acknowledge them. This understanding is key to maintaining your inner strength and continuing to live authentically. Now, let's explore the sixth sign, which is often revealed through nonverbal cues and unexplained discomfort or unease in your presence. You might notice this person fidgeting, avoiding eye contact, or even physically turning away slightly when you speak. They might cross their arms defensively, appear tense, or seem visibly uncomfortable when you're nearby, even if you haven't said a word. There's no clear reason for this. You haven't had an argument, and you might even consider yourself a friendly acquaintance. Yet, there's this subtle but persistent air of unease that emanates from them whenever you're around. It's a feeling that they just don't want you there. A raw, almost primal aversion that isn't openly expressed but is clearly felt. This isn't just shyness. It's a specific discomfort tied to your presence. Carl Jung's work often delved into the unconscious and the idea that our reactions to others can be deeply rooted in our own unresolved inner conflicts or projections. When someone exhibits this kind of unexplained discomfort, it often means that your presence, for reasons entirely unknown to them, triggers something within their own unconscious. You might represent an archetype, a past figure, or an unaddressed fear that they project onto you. For example, if they have unresolved issues with a parent or an authority figure from their past, and you unconsciously remind them of that person, they might project those unresolved feelings onto you, resulting in this inexplicable discomfort. Or, your peaceful presence might highlight their own inner turmoil, causing them to unconsciously shy away. They are not consciously hating you. Their body is simply reacting to an internal trigger that you inadvertently represent. It's their internal landscape being reflected in their external behavior towards you, a manifestation of their shadow being stirred. Recognizing this sign helps you understand that their discomfort is a burden they carry, not a reflection of your character. It allows you to maintain your composure and not internalize their projected unease. You haven't done anything wrong. You are simply an unwitting screen for their unconscious projections. Finally, we arrive at the 7th sign, which can be particularly insidious and difficult to pinpoint subtle undermining or the quiet spreading of gossip or negative perceptions about you. This isn't overt slander. It's more nuanced. You might notice a shift in how others perceive you after this person has been in their company, or hear veiled comments and insinuations about your capabilities, your memory, or your social habits that seem to have originated from them. Perhaps they'll casually mention a minor misstep you made, or a moment of forgetfulness to someone else, framing it in a way that subtly casts you in a negative light. They might share concerns about your well-being or your capacity under the guise of caring. But the underlying intention is to sow seeds of doubt about your competence or character. This is often done behind your back, or in a way that can be easily denied if confronted. It's a deliberate, yet covert, attempt to diminish your social standing or reputation. Again, Jung's concept of the shadow provides profound insight here. This type of behavior often stems from deep-seated envy, insecurity, or a desire for control that the person cannot consciously acknowledge within themselves. When someone engages in subtle undermining or gossip, they are projecting their own unacknowledged negative traits, their own shadow of malice, jealousy, or insecurity onto you. They might unconsciously resent your independence, your resilience, or simply the attention you receive. And rather than confront these uncomfortable feelings within themselves, they try to subtly chip away at your social fabric by subtly devaluing you in the eyes of others. They might be attempting to elevate their own status or assuage their own feelings of inadequacy. It's a way for them to indirectly express a hidden animosity without having to take direct responsibility for it. They want to control the narrative around you, to manage how others perceive you, because they are uncomfortable with who you truly are or what you represent to them. So, we've journeyed through these 7 subtle signs: the sudden chill, the patronizing tone, social exclusion, backhanded compliments, the dismissal of your wisdom, unexplained discomfort, and subtle undermining. It's a lot to take in, isn't it? But here's the powerful, surprising truth that Carl Jung offers us when someone acts this way towards you. Particularly as you get older, it's often not truly about you at all. It's about them. It's about their own unacknowledged fears, their unresolved insecurities, their hidden envy, or their own discomfort with the natural process of aging. You simply become the screen onto which they project their own internal shadow, the parts of themselves they can't or won't acknowledge. They are reacting to an internal trigger, a reflection of their own inner world, rather than to your true essence or actions. This understanding is incredibly empowering. It means you don't have to internalize their behavior. You don't have to wonder what you did wrong, or try to change yourself to appease them. Their negativity is a burden they carry, not one you need to take on. You are not responsible for their projections, and you are certainly not diminished by them. Instead, this knowledge allows you to detach. You can observe these behaviors with a sense of understanding, rather than hurt. You can choose to protect your energy and distance yourself from individuals who consistently project their negativity onto you, without feeling guilt or confusion. Remember, as you gracefully navigate this stage of life, you possess a wealth of wisdom, resilience, and life experience that is invaluable. Your worth is inherent, not dependent on the validation or approval of others. Embrace your journey, cherish the genuine connections you have, and stand firm in your authentic self. You have the power to choose who you allow into your inner circle, and you deserve to be surrounded by people who uplift, respect, and appreciate you for exactly who you are. Don't let the unconscious projections of others dim your light. If this video resonated with you, or if you've experienced any of these signs, please share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. Your insights could help so many others who might be feeling the same way. And if you found this perspective helpful, please give this video a like. And subscribe to our channel for more content that aims to empower you to live your best life at every age. Thank you for spending this time with me. Live your best life at every age.